Hi, I'm Liam.
And I'm Michael.
And this is Yoda.
Subscribe, you must.
Hey!
Today, I'm here to rant.
Again, don't tell me it's about the Rise of Skywalker.
It's been over a year since Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, hit our screens and the whole world watched and left the cinemas with a collective, that was okay.
I tell you, once he starts, he's never going to stop. He's like Uncle Dave at Christmas.
Trust me, you're going to want to know about this one.
Go on then.
I want to talk about the character of Ochi.
Who?
Exactly. Ochi is core to the story of Rise of Skywalker, but he's so deeply unmemorable that people forget he's even there.
Is she the girl with the helmet?
No, that's Zori.
The one that rides the space horse?
No, that's Janna.
The slug?
No, that's Claude.
The guy with the horns?
Bulio.
Is it the guy with the big feet?
That's Bilbo from Lord of the Rings.
Wow, none of them? So who is it?
Let me tell you, my young Padawan. Ochi is the guy who killed Rey's parents.
Oh, butthole eyes.
Yes! Although you'd be surprised at how many Star Wars characters fall under that category, Ochi, or Ochi of Bestoon, is a male Sith assassin who serves Sidious, and actually seems to know more than Vader.
So, what makes him so unmemorable?
Here's his story. Ochi serves Sidious, and as Palpatine clones himself in the hopes of making a Force-sensitive body to inhabit, his Force-sensitive son/clone manages to escape, leaves Exegol, finds a wife and has a baby. So far so good?
Yep.
Sidious sends Ochi to kill his clone and retrieve Rey. He tracks them to Jakku and stabs them with the Wayfinder knife, but leaves without finding baby Rey, who's been handed over to Unkar Plutt, aka Simon Pegg.
How did he not find Rey?
More on that later. On his quest to find Rey, he heads to Pasana, where he falls into a sinkhole and is killed by a giant snake. That's where Rey and the gang find his corpse and the knife that leads them to the Wayfinder that leads them to Exegol.
That feels a bit of an anticlimactic death of a guy who killed her parents.
Exactly, but if we go through that whole story again, we can dissect how truly and hilariously awful every single choice he makes is. Let's play a game of...
Let's start at the beginning. Ochi needed to take out Palpatine's son.
Yes, who in the movie looks nothing like Palpatine despite being a clone.
How long ago did this happen? Rey is only a girl when they die, right?
Yes, so first of all, let's establish that cloning happened on Exegol. Palpatine managed to create a perfect clone who didn't have the Force, who he didn't keep an eye on because he didn't have the Force.
But there's still a good chance that it could have been in that bloodline, right? That's how it works.
Yes, but for whatever reason, he didn't keep an eye on him, so this dude with no powers manages to escape the Sith homeworld undetected.
Seems implausible.
Yep, and even if he had help off the planet, which I doubt, they'd have to pass through whatever all that red stuff was from the movie and make it back to the main galaxy.
Okay, then he had Rey.
Yes, although Rey's only 19 and there's only 30 years since Palpatine died the first time. So is he like 14 when he has a daughter?
According to Wikipedia, he at the earliest was born 11 years before Rey. Was he a child?
I guess cloning makes you age more rapidly, even though the clone troopers still took 10 years to grow. Let's not think about it too deeply.
Okay, so this little boy falls in love and has a child, then finally Palpatine sends Ochi?
Yeah, it's not really clear. If he only left to find them after, say, 5 years, it makes Palpatine seem like a bit of an idiot. But if Ochi was constantly looking for 5 years, it makes Ochi look like he's bad at his job. But it's important to remember, Palpatine only sent Ochi to get Rey, who he somehow knew had the Force. I guess Palpatine, when Palpatine's clone escaped, they just didn't care about him, and it was like, hey, it's fine, let him go.
Maybe it was Palpatine's plan to let him go and have a child with the Force.
Potentially, but that's a really odd plan, especially if you don't keep tabs on them to swiftly get the daughter afterwards. Either way, it took them at least until Rey was a kid to either decide to get her or to find her at all. After all that time, it doesn't even make sense he would have known his clone had a child at all, unless he could feel her through the Force.
But the Force very literally awakens in Rey in Episode 7. She never seems to have any abilities before that point.
Exactly, and if Palpatine could feel her existence, how come he couldn't locate her after that?
Wow, this is all making Palpatine seem like a right idiot.
Right, and we haven't even dug into the really dumb stuff yet.
So then Ochi finds and kills her parents. There can't possibly be holes to poke in every step of the story.
Oh my dear friend, but there is. So first the knife. Why would Ochi carry around a knife that has all the information, even if ridiculously vague, that would lead back to Exegol? What if Ochi had been killed by a giant snake 10 years earlier, and someone like Luke had discovered the knife and ruined Palpatine's plan early?
Maybe he couldn't remember the way home and had to follow all the steps every time.
I'd watch that spin-off. Get it on Disney+.
So then her parents are dead, but he couldn't find Rey?
Yes, and here's the best bit. He seemed to kill her parents on Jakku, and her mother even goes as far as to say, and I quote, "She's not on Jakku."
Why would you say that? Doesn't that mean it's even more sus that she would be on Jakku?
Surely, and the best part is that Ochi leaves, presumably with her parents' corpses. Rey just stands out in the middle of the desert and watches the ship go away. How did he not see her? A white child with brown hair in the middle of the desert? There can't be that many people on Jakku in total, let alone people matching the description so close out in the open.
I guess Ochi's ship, the Beston Legacy, doesn't have rear-view mirrors?
God, this story is giving me a headache.
Okay, then he dies?
Yes, but there's so many funny things we can assume about that. First of all, he dies on Pasaana, a planet with no traces to Rey whatsoever, so either he was randomly trying any planet he could, or he did take Rey's mother's comment about not being on Jakku too seriously and just checked out other desert planets. Secondly, in the film we see how close the sinkhole is to his parked ship, so he barely got off his ship before dying.
Actually, they're called sinking fields?
Alright, Mr. Encyclopedia, but if you remember, the sinking fields are pretty noticeable, and our heroes only fall into one because they're speeder crashes. The implication of Ochi's death is he just fell into one of his own accord.
Oh, Ochi, what are you like?
Then he dies.
Well, at least he was carrying his address on his knife, otherwise they would never found Palpatine, right?
Apart from the fact that Palpatine had already announced his return to the whole galaxy before the movie even begins.
You mean on Fortnite, right?
God, that was a thing. Don't remind me.
So Palpatine's entire demise is because Ochi is an idiot?
Quite possibly. Although he set up his own fall pretty hard. Why prepare for 30 years and announce yourself too soon before your big attack? He deserves to lose with a move like that.
And even if he doesn't announce himself publicly, he's still left one of the two wayfinders on Mustafar for Kylo to find.
And when Kylo goes to Exegol, Palpatine orders him to kill the girl, which is not really what he wants because he actually needs her alive, so she can kill him.
Or both of them, so he can suck the energy out of their Force dyad.
Whatever that means. Kind of feels like he switched up his plan on the fly. Kill Rey, use Rey, kill me. This guy needs to get his motivations in order.
Either way, why would he even trust Kylo anyway? He claims to be every voice in his head. If Palpatine saw through his eyes of Snoke, then he would know Kylo is rational and a loose cannon. Killing Snoke? Why would you, revealing yourself to have made Snoke, help anything?
Well, it seems the deeper we dig, the more questions we have about the film.
I guess this is usually the part where we wrap it up the topic with some insight and humour.
I guess we could say that Ochi led to Palpatine's downfall, but I don't really think he did.
Seems like Palpatine set up his own failure by making a bunch of weird decisions.
It's not really like he had 30 years to plan this. Oh, wait.
Well, I guess that's the moral of the story. Over a year later, and the Rise of Skywalker still exists.
Is it bad if I don't mind it?
Get out. Get out!
I mean, Babu Frick is cool, huh?
I mean, yeah, he's pretty cool, you got